Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I have with me Stacey Altomari, and she is an EFT master practitioner and life coach. She's also my friend, and she is so passionate about helping people reconnect with their body's naturally ability to heal without immediately reaching for a pill. That's very important. Her work is rooted in the belief that there are gentle, effective alternatives to traditional approaches, and that true well being often begins at the emotional and cellular level. Throughout emotional freedom techniques, EFT, Stacey helps clients release the emotional weight tied to life experiences, stress, anxiety, fear, sadness, and overwhelm, so the body can relax, reset, and function more effectively. Her approach is simple but powerful, supporting healing without compromising the body, honoring emotions rather than suppressing them, and offering practical options for those seeking a more natural path to well-being.
Wow.
Does that kind of sum up a little
Oh
bit
my
of
God.
what you do?
Honestly, you put it together better than I could have, so thank you.
Not true, but I want to do my best.
Oh, you really did a perfect job of explaining what I do. Thank you.
Okay, but that's all very well. That's what you do. That's how. But let's find out, who are you really,
I love that
Stacey?
question. I love that question.
Who are you? Let's get that. Let's get that
Yeah,
over there.
I'll tell you why I love the question, because most people associate who they are with titles, right? I'm a sister,
Yes.
I'm a friend, I'm a wife, with titles. But that's not who you are. Who you are, right? I am playful. I am a child. I am a child more than I'm an adult. And I love that role of staying there because I can see life with curiosity and wonderment instead of the way adults see life today. So yeah, who am I? I am just a child in an adult body who just wants to play. That's who I am. But
I
I'm also
love that.
extremely passionate about helping others find that child to play with as well.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And that should be like the definition of living life, like it should, because we don't take the time to be that child that we were once. I
Yeah.
so agree with that. i'm
Yeah.
gonna i'm gonna steal that because I love it. I want to be
Okay.
that. I
I'm
want to
okay
be
if
like
you
that.
do. I'll tell you, I read a quote recently and it said, if you take life too seriously, you'll never get out of it. And it's so true. You
It
really
is.
won't. Oh my God, if you take life too seriously, you're not going to survive it. It's going to be a struggle. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
take life that seriously.
that's a good approach. That's a very good approach. And so, what got you exactly to this life you are living? You know, was it your curiosity? Now I'm curious. How come you stepped into this chapter of being a healer, being someone that steps up and shows up for others the
Mm.
way you do?
Well, I'll tell you, your life is a journey and it takes you in remarkable ways, down detours, down dead ends, but it will also take you on a nicely paved road if you will allow it to. I've spent most of my life in corporate America, and I knew that
Mm.
wasn't where I was supposed to be. Ever. Every single day of my life, I knew this was not what I was supposed to be. But when you don't know where you should be, you stay where you are. I was fortunate enough to be introduced to a product called ASEA, and they helped me with my self-development in showing people this product. And one of the modalities was EFT. It was one of the things that they used. And I was like, once I had one session with EFT, I was like, I need to do this. I need to know more about this. I need to know how, because for me, which is not normal, for me, my first try with EFT was I found forgiveness on something there was no way I ever thought I would. So it was so powerful. I was like, I need to know more, and that kind of told me, yeah, you know what? All the things you've been through in life take you someplace, even the worst, so I can
Yeah.
connect with people who have had the same experiences that I've had, who have had maybe that same trauma that I've had. So I'm able to connect with them through EFT. I wouldn't have been able to do it before that because I wasn't ready to help them. So my journey took me through that corporate office, knowing every day it wasn't where I wanted to be, to a place finally where it said, here's home. Here's where you need to be. And yeah, I mean, it was much later in my life, but I was more ready for it than I would have been younger.
Well, there's always a reason, right, for the way things happen in our lives.
Yeah.
And so can I say that you were searching for something?
Always. Always. I am the type of person, I've been this way my whole entire life. I'm not a follower, I'm a leader, but I'm a leader of me. I don't need to lead others. I just need to lead me. So I always knew when something wasn't right. If a job wasn't right, I would just leave it. It didn't matter. I didn't take the consequences of what could have happened because I knew this wasn't right for me. I always knew me well enough to know that there was something more out there. Just not knowing what it is kind of keeps you in the same cycle.
Yes, yes. I absolutely see that. And so what helped you take that first step, the real step, the moment that you decided that you were going to trust that thing that was calling you? Was it when you started working with ASEA?
It was absolutely ASEA started it. The people surrounding ASEA started it. It was another place I call home because their whole goal is to help people. It's not about selling people, it's about helping people. So I needed to be a part of that. And in that, I also learned EFT, which also gave me the opportunity to help people, not just on a spiritual, mental, emotional, physical level, but also with ASEA physically. So the two of them together have no side effects. They cannot harm you. And together they were like the perfect match. So I knew I had to find ASEA in order to find EFT because I have to keep those two together,
Oh, that's
because we're a
interesting.
whole body, right, Sarah? We are in a whole
Yeah,
body. You can work on the body and not work on the mind, and it won't work. And you can work on the mind and not work on the body, and it won't work. And you can work on the mind and the body and not work on the spiritual, and it still won't work. So we're a whole body. We have to see what really needs our attention.
absolutely. You just reminded me of all these people looking for balance. Actually, I find that when we are taking care of ourselves on those three levels,
Yeah.
we're so close to balance. I mean, that's the ultimate balance for me, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, if we were becoming more present with ourselves and more aware of ourselves, we would notice the difference in ourselves when we do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yes. And so what would you say is lighting you up right now?
Ooh.
In your life or in your work, or do you have anything else that you do for yourself?
Oh, well, the first thing I do is I make sure I put myself on the calendar every single day because it's so easy
Ah,
to get involved in the work, right? In helping others and doing everything for everyone else that you forget about yourselves. So I make sure I put myself on my calendar every single day because I have to be just as important, if not more so, because I can't help others if I'm not helping me, and that lights me up. What lights me up is knowing that I can find that balance between me and someone else, between me and what I do. I can find that beautiful balance and love me and still help someone else. And that's what lights me up, is finding that balance of saying, you know what? I am deserving. I am worthy. I am enough. Yeah.
that is amazing. I talk to a lot of women and I see it in myself as well. We're not yet used to being the priority.
Yeah.
Do you have any tips on that? Do you just put it in your calendar and it's easy for you? Oh, well, I mean, what I mean is, have you been doing it long enough that now it is on your calendar and it's going to happen, right?
Right, right. And it is
Or,
a practice for women because we are
yes,
genuinely caregivers, right? Not care receivers, you know. And I try to remind everyone that you know how good it feels when you give to someone, right? Even when you're helping them, when you're giving of yourself. If you are not on that receiving end of someone else's giving, then you are denying them that pleasure. And who are you to do that? So you have to be as good of a receiver as you are a giver. And that's difficult. That's a lot of practice, because we're used to being, we try to be very strong, independent women because, society has taught us that we are less than, but we aren't. And that all doesn't come from society. That just comes from you. So you have to start reflecting, looking at yourself and saying, why do I think that? Who taught me that? Because it's not something you were born with. It really isn't. So who taught me that? And most of it's by example. I mean, right? I mean, our parents, our grandparents, their parents. I mean, it just goes down the line. Women had a role to play, and it's completely changed. We literally took the rug out from under society when we became independent women, and they still don't know how to handle that. But it's not our job to make them. It's our job to just be okay with doing it. Right?
yes, yes, absolutely. Uh, is this something that women come to you to get help with?
I think it just becomes a part of the learning no matter
Okay.
what, right? I think they come
Yeah.
to me because I am strong, but I'm also, I also don't have a judgment or a criticism. I don't try to fix anyone. You're not broken, So I just want to hold that sacred space for you to just be you, no matter who that is, even if you're feeling vulnerable, even if you're feeling less than, I'm going to hold that space for you. Feel that. Let's find out where that came from because that's not even yours. So I teach them how to find themselves under the layers of society and all the people we surround ourselves with that have taught us something different.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. I love that. We were not taught to show up for ourselves, and that's one of the things that when I decided to start my own business and I came home from working outside the house, for years, I thought I'm living my best life. Like, I love my life. I get to do what I love. I get to show up for other women. I love, you know. And then I thought I'm going to show up for myself. I'm going to do my self-care routine, all these things. And it was so hard.
yeah,
I would not allow myself to take a walk in the middle of the day because I wasn't working. I wasn't bringing any money. I'd never been in that situation. I've started working. I was 15 years old with my part-time jobs.
yeah,
So, you know, a
yeah,
whole life. I was 50 when I stopped. I didn't know better. I just never had time to show up for myself because kids were small, because, all the works going on, studying, all the things. And suddenly I find myself in a position that I can do all the things. And I'm just there.
yeah.
6 months in, I'm wishing I'm just thinking I'm gonna get another job. I can't take it anymore. I can't do this. It's too hard.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God. That is such a true statement, right? Because we take our value by what we do,
Yes.
not
That's
by
why I
who
love
we
your answer.
are. We take our value by what we do. You don't have to do a thing and you're valuable. You don't have to
Yes.
do one single thing. Just being here, right now, as you are the most valuable person in the room.
Yes.
Just that. You don't have to do or pretend or act a certain way. You don't have to do any of that. You don't. That's where you need to find that, that society was completely wrong, right? That you don't have to show up. You just have to be. You just have to be there, you know? Yeah. Take off your masks, stop performing, and just allow yourself to be you. It's really
Yeah,
hard because
it
we've
is.
been taught it's selfish when it's actually self-care. And I'm
Absolutely.
pretty sure that whoever came up with that statement was never a woman because they don't have a clue what that means.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so for the woman listening who's standing where you once stood, not knowing this is not for her, but living day in, day out, repeating the same days, not feeling like herself, because at the end of the day, if you're not being true to yourself, you don't feel like yourself. What would you tell her? Would you would you tell her to just do it? Would you tell her to, I don't know, what would you tell her?
Oh, that's a really good question. Follow your heart. You have
Mm,
to. I mean, you only have one life, and your life doesn't start, it starts at your birth and it's done at your end, right? At the death.
mhm.
What's the most important part of your life is that dash in between. It's all the time that you spend in between. That's life. The other one's birth, the other one's death, but your life is what's in between. And if you compromise over and over again, just being who you need to be, want to be, think you should be, and even if you don't know what that is, you know what it isn't, that's a start. Knowing what isn't is your first start. And the universe will throw 100 million opportunities in front of you. But your first step is saying, yeah, I don't want this. I'm leaving. That's your first step. I'm going to find what really lights me up. That's your first step. And the universe will provide you with everything else you need. And I know it's hard to believe that. I know it's scary. I know there's financial, responsibility. There's all of that. But take that one step and see what happens. It only takes one step. So try it and see what happens. If that doesn't work, take another step. It's okay. I'm not asking you to just like throw caution to the wind and start something new that you have no clue of. I'm not asking you to do that. I'm asking you to just be true to yourself and take that first step. Surrender and trust in yourself. You've got this. I promise you, you've got this. I'm not promising you it'll be easy, but I'm promising you that the reward is there if you are willing to reach for it.
Oh, that's beautiful. Love that. I agree. It's like I sometimes think of, when we women want the big proposal, like the big ring, that we want to post that all over social media, and we fail to see that for that to happen, it's all the little steps
Yeah.
to achieve that thing, because that thing is never going to happen unless you take one step at a time, right?
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
all the big moments. I sometimes think about that. We
Yeah.
see everybody, and it's beautiful to see a big moment, but it's not really about that.
No,
It's
it's
about the
never about the destination either, because we all have the
exactly.
same destination in life, and it's called death. We all have
That's
that same destination. It's not about that. What makes your life uniquely you is you and your journey. That's it.
absolutely.
So, yeah, live it, find it, be curious. Don't beat yourself up if it doesn't work. Don't judge yourself that you're not good enough. How do you know if you don't try? There's no such thing as failure. The only time you fail is if you don't try,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
you have to at least try. And then you learned what you don't want to do or what doesn't work.
Yeah, because all the information we get, it's valuable because it informs us,
Yeah,
the next step, right?
exactly. Yeah. It's all a learning experience. Life is all about learning things.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
that's beautiful. Absolutely. Well, I have a few rapid fire for you. Are you game?
I'm ready.
Okay, Stacey, a word that defines this season of your life.
I think we were talking earlier. I really had to give some reflection on that. But if there was a word, I would say a river. Because a river changes its pace with the seasons and the weather, and so does life. And it's all about, you can have rough waters. You're going to, it's life. But the river always flows. So if you flow through with the river, through the rough times, you'll come out to that calm sea. So river came to mind.
Love
Love
that.
that.
Thank you for sharing that. A book or quote that shaped you.
Here's a quote, but I have no idea where it came from, but I love it. It's what you think of me is none of my business. I use it all the time because honest to God, people, if you're listening to this, what somebody else thinks of you is not about you. It's about their experiences and their own triggers and their own emotional content. It's not about you. It really isn't. It only becomes about you when you accept it as true. So yeah, what you think of me is none of my business.
Okay. Something simple that makes you feel grounded.
Well, there's two things. I am almost always barefoot. I don't like shoes. I love to connect to the earth, and it doesn't matter the weather. It can be cold and snowy, and I'll still go out barefoot just to connect to the earth. But there's also times I have a big pot of soil in my sunroom, and I will just plant my hands in it. For me, that's grounding. For me, that's very connected to Mother Earth. And I really love her energy.
And finally, what does self-care look like for you right now?
Putting myself on my schedule. Always put myself on my schedule. Making sure I get 20 minutes to an hour meditation a day. Sometimes it's only 20 minutes and sometimes it's more than an hour, but it has to at least be one time when I get to meditate throughout the day. Spending time outside in nature. I don't care if it's just sitting on my bench outside with a coat on and my hat, my mittens, my gloves, everything. I don't care if I'm bundled up like Nanook of the North. I'm going to sit outside and just spend time in nature because everything gets healed when I do that. I can release what I don't want to her. She'll take it graciously and she can fill me up with what I need. So those are three pretty good things that I do for myself consistently.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing them with us. I really appreciate it. And I so appreciate you. Any final word you want to leave us with?
Oh, well, if I had to put a final word to something, be true to you. Find out what that means, but be true to you. Stop playing the mask. Stop putting them on for other people. Because as long as you're doing that, then you're not happy. You're not happy. And we teach people how to treat ourselves. And sometimes we have to reteach them because they've learned from a lifetime of being with us, and that's usually family, right? But it's okay. Create your boundaries, honor them, because if you don't, they won't. And then start teaching people how you want to be treated. And just stick with your guns. Because even if you lose some of those people, you're going to gain the right people. You're going to gain a boatload of people that are actually more on your plane.
Thank you so much, Stacey, for being with us today. I have really enjoyed our conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Sara. I love it. I love you.
I love you, my friend.